The Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen was at a joint economic committee hearing, and Senator Bernie Sanders laid out some facts for her and asked her a very straightforward question, and listen to her answer.
The top 1% own about 38% of the financial wealth of America. The bottom 60% own 2.3%. One family, the Walton family, is worth over $140 billion. That's more wealth than the bottom 40% of the American people. In recent years, we have seen a huge increase in the number of millionaires and billionaires, while we continue to have the highest rate of childhood poverty in the industrialized world. Despite this, as many of my Republican friends talk about the oppressive Obama economic policies, in the last year, Charles and David Koch struggled under these policies, and their wealth increased by $12 billion in 1 year, despite the oppressive Obama economic policies. In terms of income, 95% of new income generated in this country in the last year went to the top 1%. Now, a study which I've just introduced into the record by two professors from Princeton University, Professor Martin Gillens, and Northwestern University Professor Benjamin Page, basically suggest that while historically we have considered our society to be a capitalist democracy, we may now have entered into a phase where we are an oligarchic form of society. In your judgment, given the enormous power held by the billionaire class and their political representatives, are we still a capitalist democracy, or have we gone over into an oligarchic form of society in which incredible economic and political power now rests with the billionaire class?
So all of the statistics on inequality that you've cited are ones that greatly concern me. And I think for the same reason that you're concerned about them, they can shape determine the ability of different groups to participate equally in a democracy and have grave effects on social stability over time. And so I don't know what to call our system or how to, I prefer not to give labels, but there's no question that we've had a trend toward growing inequality, and I personally find it a very worrisome trend that deserves the attention of policymakers.
In other words, I'm going to try to say no, but I have to say yes because you gave me too many facts and my brain is on overload and the facts all point in the same direction, so I got to do a little dance here and try to walk a tightrope and... Bernie Sanders always comes hard with the facts there. Good job, Bernie. Yeah, look, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. It's too overwhelming. There are too many studies. There's too much evidence. I mean, it's not a coincidence, for example, that ExxonMobil gives millions and millions of dollars in lobbying every election cycle. And then lo and behold, every time they vote on a $4 billion annual subsidy to ExxonMobil, it happens to pass. Could it be because they lobbied Congress? I'm not sure. You know, I mean, I always give this example because it really demonstrates to you exactly the thing I'm talking about. If you think of like local small businesses in your area, so the local cleaner, for example, or the local deli that you might frequent, or whatever, again, any small business. Imagine they run into some financial troubles and they're about to file for bankruptcy. What are the chances that Congress will rush in and give them a subsidy? Give them a bailout, give them anything. Give them a tax break. Hey, look, we'll prop you up for another 2 years, see if you can give it a jump start. See if you can, try to get your business back. What are the chances? Negative 27%. There's absolutely no chance Congress gives a shit about any small businesses, which, by the way, those small businesses are just as vital to the community as all the big businesses. They still perform a great function. Of course, some of them struggle from time to time, and sometimes it's hard to pay the bills, and there's natural business cycles and all this stuff, but they're still very vital. They're performing a service for society. but there's no chance they would help out small businesses. But look at ExxonMobil, which is already one of the most profitable corporations in the world, and they get a $4 billion subsidy every single year. Why is that? The reason is simple. It's because they're giving money to the politicians, so the politicians give money back to them. It's a game. It's a ruse. It's open bribery. It's open corruption, you know? By the same token, when the Great Recession happened and the subprime mortgage crisis and the stock market crashed in 2008, why is it that they only let a handful of those businesses fail, and then they ran in and said, we're going to prop up everything else. Here's a blank check of taxpayer money. Why did they do that? Because, again, those are all the same companies and corporations and investment banks and commercial banks that gave money to the politicians in the first place. So when they get in trouble, it's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. They're always going to look out for each other because they are part of the same country clubs. They're part of the good old boys club. You know, they rub elbows on the cocktail circuit. They are the same people, okay? And they pass money back and forth. They have an open system of bribery going all the way back to Buckley versus Vallejo when the Supreme Court decided money equals free speech. Then Citizens United made it worse. Then McCutcheon made it even worse. And what we're looking at here is a system that's totally rigged. A system that's totally rigged in favor of the rich, in favor of the billionaires. Bernie gave you other facts there about just how dire the situation really is, that the middle class is disappearing, that there's a continued war on the poor. Not like a war on poverty to get rid of it, like a war on the poor. In other words, a war on prosperity to continue to keep people in poverty. And that's the problem. And when you look at the studies, specifically the one that he referenced there, which we covered on the show, it's clear what's happening. What's happening is the system is rigged in favor of the rich, and all the laws are now rigged in favor of the rich. And if you look at the political science definitions, which, of course, not to brag, but that's what I have a degree in, so this is the shit that I know. When you look at the definitions, that kind of a system is defined as either an oligarchy, a kleptocracy, or a plutocracy. Those are slightly different variations of the same kind of general thing, which is government of, by, and for the rich. Government of, by, and for the elite. And everybody else is just kind of, our opinion doesn't matter, what we think doesn't matter, the democracy is irrelevant, and we know the results.